Autumn means a lot happening around the state of Connecticut, and who better to talk about it than our good friend Edwin Bartlett of ctoutandabout.com. Edwin, thank you so much for coming in to join us today. We're going to look forward in a little bit to talk about some of the events that people can take part in this weekend and the days ahead. But let's look backward first and talk about what was a very successful breast cancer awareness campaign.
Yeah, absolutely. Back in July, WTNH gave us a segment for the Beach Jam for Breast Cancer, which is run by the Westbrook Elks. And this year we broke a record for the fourth straight year. We raised over $38,000.
Wow. And
this money is different. It doesn't go to research. It actually goes to patient care services. And we actually got a rundown of where the money's being spent. It helps fund the Navigator up at Middlesex Cancer Hospital Center. And the Navigator helps the patients find the doctors, the whole 9 yards. At Yale, Smile Cancer Hospital at Yale, it actually goes to helping them get gas, food cards, I mean everything. So it was a fantastic fundraiser, and we want to thank WTNH for helping us support that.
Oh, of course. Well, you know, one of the reasons I'm so glad you're talking about this, right down to the giving the total amount of money raised, is that so often people take part in these fundraisers, and that's kind of the end of it. They don't really hear if anything was raised, how much was raised, exactly what it went for. So it's nice to know that it's real, it's tangible.
Yeah, and it's important for the people to know, and it's important for the people to know how grateful not just the Westbrook Elks and everyone involved, but the patients themselves. Yeah. They are very happy with what we do.
All right, if all of you took part in that, feel good about it. Now let's talk about touristing, and we're going to talk about Niantic. Why is Niantic on your agenda today?
I like Niantic because it's a great little town. It's a New England town, awesome Main Street, and it's really, I think, one of the only towns that I know of that still has its own local 4-screen movie theater, great restaurants. It has a huge boardwalk on Niantic Bay, so you can walk that any time of the year. And Niantic is like 20 minutes from everywhere in eastern Connecticut.
Give us some, for people who aren't familiar with it, give us some idea of its location relative to other places.
Niantic is just over the Baldwin Bridge in Old Saybrook. It's probably about half an hour from New Haven.
Here's some highlights.
Yes, and it's great because you can get anywhere in eastern Connecticut from Niantic. You're seeing right now the Ferry Village at, I forgot the name of the museum in Old Lyme. But you can also go to Devil's Hop Yard in Haddam, Goodspeed Opera House, Mystic, 20 minutes away, Casinos, 20 minutes away. It's just a great town and a great place to go from.
People are so used to heading to the Connecticut shore. Look at that. In fact, that's your railroad.
Yes, that's the Essex
right there. In the summertime, people head to the shore, understandably enough. What is the allure of the shoreline in the fall?
Well, the great thing about it is that, especially in the eastern parts of Connecticut, it's still rural New England. For instance, Niantic, taking Route 156, that'll bring you up to Devil's Hop Yard. It is, stone walls, you go through Lyme, and it's great foliage, and it's not cluttered, and you get a lot of nice views. Like taking 156 right to Devil's Hop Yard, nice climb, beautiful vista. It's actually called the Vista Trail.
You know, you can just, my parents were in town last weekend from Ohio, and we didn't really do anything any more planned than cruising out in the car and some roads up in the beautiful Killingworth area, and they were just completely knocked out.
My backyard, Chatfield Hollow, as you mentioned. And and that's a great thing. And a lot of these country roads, you have antique shops, you have great little family restaurants, you have gift shops. And it's just get in your car, drive, no destination, set up the GPS, and you can do all sorts of things.
And we talked about the Chatfield Hollow. One of the great things about Connecticut that I've discovered in the time I've lived here is they have a number of these, I'll call them sort of pocket-sized state park, which you can really manage. You can really get in there. And once you're in, trails, leaves, streams, covered bridges, things like you wouldn't believe. And that's one of the reasons I was telling Sam earlier. I hate the thought of these autumn colors coming to a close, so you better get out there while you can.
Yeah, absolutely. And I did take that drive on 156 doing a little scouting, and the leaves they're just short of being in their prime and their peak, but it's still absolutely beautiful. And we are seeing a lot of oranges and deep reds which we haven't seen in the past few years because of the weather and those little storms we had.
And when that autumn sun comes through those leaves, man, it's a knockout.
Yeah, and I think Sam's going to verify. Get out this weekend.
Yeah. He mentioned something about rain next week.
Yeah.
Every day. Edwin, stick around. We're going to hang out and talk a little bit more about more stuff
Absolutely.
in our next half hour.